They told me for years there was no money in podcasting. Well, they were all wrong.
But the big disconnect between audiences in Hollywood is the Academy.
Yeah, I mean, we could take a whole other hour, Will, if you wanted to talk about the Academy. I mean,
We got time, man, if you got somewhere to be.
Oh, no, I mean, listen, I mean, it's just, the thing with the whole thing with I don't even know where to start with the Academy. I mean, I love the Oscars. Again, to me, Super Bowl, it's my Super Bowl. I cover it wire to wire.
It was for me, too. This is the first year I didn't watch it live, and I kind of regret it.
Oh yeah, I mean, you get the big moment. Where
I gotta see that slap, man.
Yeah, the slap heard around the world. I mean, let me tell you, I was live. I saw that live when that happened. I mean, I was with a group of friends that same group of friends I hadn't watched the Oscars with since the whole debacle before the slap, where this was the top of the cake with the envelope mistake. Where it was,
oh my God, with Steve Harvey?
Yes, no, with Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway when they did with La La Land and Moonlight.
That's right. No, what did Steve Harvey do?
I think that was the beauty pageant. I think that might have been Miss America.
That was Miss America. Oh, you're right. That was Miss America. Yeah.
That was before.
They screwed up with La La Land.
Yeah, they screwed up with La La Land because they got the envelope and it was basically it said Emma Stone. They had the wrong envelope basically, and so they thought, oh, it's La La Land, even though it said Emma Stone. La La Land, it was for Best Actress. And then they got on stage, yada, yada, yada. People knew it was a mistake. Everyone was going crazy. And so that was the biggest debacle in Oscar history before Will Smith decided to go on stage and slap the shit out of Chris Rock, basically.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can curse on him.
No, you can. You can.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, he slapped the shit out of him, and that will forever be the craziest moment in Oscar history. I don't know. I mean, listen, something could happen in the next 5 years where people are being chased out of the Academy Theater, the Dolby Theater, and something crazy happens, but that will take the cake for one of the craziest live television moments ever. And then everything that went on this year with the Academy, with the... Now there's a whole thing with the best the whole thing with like best moment where they had like talking about like Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah, it's just tongue in cheek. Oh, it's like it feels as a fan of film and the Academy, it feels like they're just giving it to us to shut us up.
Yeah, but also the funny thing about that is now there's an article that came out where apparently there were bots that helped push those films to be awarded apparently. That there's like a whole article about that now.
Well, the whole thing about the Oscars, like, don't get me wrong, the movies that are nominated for the Oscars typically are, especially Best Picture, are typically phenomenal movies.
Yeah.
They're outstanding masterpieces of art.
Yeah.
Which is my defense for what the Oscars should be.
Yeah.
However, they're also movies nobody sees.
Yeah, that's the problem. And I think that's why when... I know the big push this year was something like Spider-Man No Way Home. I just think the Academy needs to be able to look at these films because I think when they look at horror films, even though we get something like a Get Out that gets nominated because it was a phenomenon and it dealt with a lot of things and it was a really cool movie and it was a breakthrough for Jordan Peele. You get things like that. You get things like Black Panther. I almost said the sequel title, but it's just Black Panther when it was nominated in 2018. You get things like Joker. It's things that are very art house or things that are culturally phenomenons.
Joker was very art house.
A very art house.
So art house.
Yes.
I ate up.
Yeah.
Ate it up.
I mean, it was great. Yeah, no doubt. Like, it deserved every nomination that it got. It was phenomenal. It was one of my favorite films of 2019 when it came out. But I feel like genre films like sci-fi sometimes or fantasy, if they're not these epics, like Dune was able to get it or Lord of the Rings, but it's not consistent, where some of the best films out there are comic book movies, are horror films, are genre films that should get nominated and should be recognized. But I just think the Academy sometimes, especially the older Academy, looks at it as more taboo. Like, it's like, no, like that can't, like, no, like that's not what we're looking for with the Academy. Like, it doesn't check our box for what we're looking for, things
the
like
Dark
that.
Knight was
Huge
nominated.
example.
You know, like you said, Lord of the Rings did a clean sweep.
Yeah.
Went 12 for 12, Return of the King did.
Dark Knight wasn't nominated, though.
No, Heath Ledger was, though.
Yeah, Heath Ledger was. Yeah,
right,
but the film wasn't.
Those kind of movies, like, if you even go back 15 years ago, like, those big blockbuster movies that people loved and saw were nominated.
Yeah.
I feel like it's in the past few years where all movies that are nominated are just so, one, they're sad.
Yeah.
They're hard to watch because it's so sad.
Yeah.
Like last year, The Father, Anthony Hopkins.
Oh, yeah. Brutal. Brutal movie.
Brutal. It's
brutal.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's art.
Yeah.
Anthony Hopkins brought me to tears. Like, I'm a man, I'll admit it.
Yeah.
But it's just so sad.
No, it is. Yeah.
In the middle of COVID, you're like,
you don't need those films. Yeah.
It's just like, guys, like Bill Maher said it best. Like, can we just take the depressingness out of the Oscars? Like, life is depressing enough.
Yeah.
I know life imitates art, but
Yeah.
Not on. Come on.
Yeah, no, or like Nomadland, where I love Chloe Zhao, amazing director.
Yeah.
But Nomadland was not depressing like The Father or like Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, but still was very slow paced, dealt with very sad material about, nomads and the way they live and seeing their way of life and all that kind of stuff and the reasoning for why they kind of live their lives because of economic downturns and things like that sometimes. So again, like you get those kind of movies, great movies, but you want a little bit more upbeat sometimes with your Oscars. And I think this year especially, another big disconnect was them shortening or taking out the live aspect of a lot of the below the lines. Kind of going back to what we were talking about earlier about how important those below the line categories are, because now you're not even trying to get more people, I think, general audiences in. You're alienating the audience that already watched the Oscars.
Yeah.
And to me, that's the thing where you want to get people that want to watch the Oscars for the Oscars. To me, I understand you want to make it a big show, and that's another big thing too, where I think everything's a big show. And I understand people hate the runtime, but the runtime's the runtime.
I have no problem with the runtime.
Me neither. Like,
no problem.
You have all those awards, you need to get through them no matter what, because each person deserves to be recognized. And I think whoever's a film lover will watch it. Now, I think we live in a day and age today where everything is about the ratings nowadays, and there's a reason, and that's the reason why they're trying all this different stuff. But the reason that the ratings are down...
That's the thing. If they cared about ratings, sorry to cut you off, but if they cared about ratings, they would have nominated Spider-Man, and it would have won.
Yeah.
But they don't care about ratings.
No.
They care about ratings, but they want people to like what they give them.
Exactly.
They want to have their cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
Like, listen, I have no problem with those technical awards because we like that stuff.
Yeah.
We're nerds.
Yeah, exactly.
And the point of the Oscars is your peers recognizing each other in the industry.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, if you want to do that, you got to understand you might not have ratings. If that's your goal, don't televise it.
Yeah.
The Golden Globes weren't televised this year. Thank God.
Yeah.
Because who cares?
Yeah. And that's a whole other disaster in and of itself, too. But yeah.
But you gotta pick one.
Yeah.
If you want ratings, you gotta give it to what, like, Rotten Tomatoes. Spider-Man was probably like a 90.
It was like 96, I think.
96 between the people and the critics.
Yeah, the critics was 96%. I think the audience might have been a little higher.
Give or take, but
sure.
both
they were very
in the
high.
90s,
very high.
which is very rare.
Yeah.
And you don't nominate it for anything?
Except for VFX, and it didn't even win that category.
Right, but it's just like, well, and now you're confused why you don't have ratings.
Yeah.
And they think, oh, Will Smith thing was staged. I was like, okay, it was staged. That's what the Academy wanted. Who won Best Picture?
It was oh my God, I can't believe I'm forgetting this, and I'm the Oscar nerd.
Because the only thing you remember is
God.
That's the only thing you remember.
Man. Yeah, no, it is true. It was Coda. And that was a great film as well. I feel so bad about that now. I knew that I said it on my podcast all the time. We're going to forget about Best Picture, and I forgot about Best Picture. But yeah, no, like, you have those films, and you want those films to be recognized and seen. And I'm happy that the Academy will, at least, that integrity is still there, where at least when they're nominating, it's not because of ratings. Like, it's like, we're going to do this because we want the ratings. Like, I don't want that. Like, I want it to be like, you nominate the best films out there. And to me, it should be the best films out there. And I remember when Favorite Film was coming out, they were proposing all that kind of stuff with, like, best popular film, all that. To me, that was bullshit, because
100%.
Because to me, and I said it at the screening room at the time, if you want this to be nominated, nominate it for one of your top 10 best pictures, or one of the best picture awards.
Yep.
If it's one of the best films of the year, don't put it in another category, put it in that category if it's that good. So to me, it's if it's one of the best films and you think it's the best film of the year, and they're campaigning enough where you're recognizing it, nominate it, and then if it wins, it wins. But I just think that the way that they're going about it, where it's about cutting the runtime, putting in all these different elements to it, it doesn't need to happen. Cutting out certain elements that should be integral to the ceremony, they just did not run it the best way this year. I just think they need a clean slate. They need to bring in new producers, people that know the Academy Awards, and run a tighter ship, I think. I just think the last 2 years have been not a good look for the Oscars. I mean, between the pandemic, the way that show is run, and how the producers muffled that whole thing with Best Actor, putting that at the end.
Yeah, that was also weird last year.
And shows evidence of that the directors and the showrunners don't know the winners, because if they knew the winners, they wouldn't have put Best Actor for Chadwick Boseman, because the whole thing was that the storyline that they wanted to create was Chadwick Boseman, he got an Oscar, a posthumous Oscar nomination for his role. It was really his last big film that he was out there for.
And they gave it to Joaquin Phoenix.
No, it was for It was for
Joker.
Anthony Hopkins.
Oh, Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah,
and he wasn't even there.
He wasn't even there because of COVID and things like that. Because he was still in Britain. He's like 80 years old, so it makes sense why he's not there.
Of course.
But
and then it's like, oh, show's over.
It's basically show's over. and Joaquin Phoenix delivered the awards. Like, thanks guys, that's it. And they put it on Questlove, who I talked to this with Jason Abdow, and he was on the screening room, and I have him on. He's one of my guests that I have on sometimes for the podcast. On my podcast, we talk awards a lot. I was watching with him, and we were like, Questlove should have won Best Documentary because his film Summer of Soul was up for a nomination, and he eventually won, and we were hoping to be this big redemption for him. Poor Questlove. He's got to close out the Oscars at the very end of 2020 because he was DJing and be like, so long, everybody, after the whole awkward moment.
I remember.
And then his category was a category when the slap happened. So he gets up there. Everyone's still ringing about things. He's got to like plow through it. He was pissed off about it. Like, he's somebody who should get like 5 Oscars just for putting up with the shit that the Academy's put him through in the last like 2 years.
Well, you know how they choose the winners, right?
Well, I know some of it's like preferential ballot.
No,
I know
they lobby. The studios lobby.
Oh yeah, it's awards campaigns.
Yeah,
it's campaigning through and through. Yeah,
it's crazy. Like, you know how much money Netflix gives to the Academy?
Hundreds of millions.
Beg to be nominated because it gives them legitimacy.
Yeah.
Same with HBO, Warner Brothers. Like,
yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I get it. It's a business, but as a consumer, I gotta go, oh, these awards are all bullshit.
Yeah, because a lot of it is campaigning, and a lot of the studios put out as much money as they can. And for Netflix, their problem is that they put out like 3 or 4 movies, whereas other studios only put out like 1 or 2 movies because you got to focus on these movies. And even though we talk about all these films that should be nominated, should not be nominated, there's a lot of movies out there, and people that are in the Academy are people that make films, and like they're working and they're doing all this stuff. And sure, they need to watch all these movies at the same time, but that's the reason also for why they campaign too, is because they campaign to be like, look at these movies. These are the movies we want you to look at for awards consideration. That's why it's always for your consideration. Like, consider us for this, consider us for that. And people will be like, okay, I'll check this movie out when I have some time. And you watch it, you're like, oh, wow, I like it for this, this, and this. And for Netflix, they put out 3 or 4 movies, and it's like, well, I like this movie, but oh, yeah, they had that movie too. And it's just, it jumbles it up, which is why something like Apple TV Plus, they only put out Coda. And so Coda was the only film, and they knew they had something there. So that's why they poured in the kind of money that they poured in for that one. Whereas for Netflix, they poured in millions and millions of dollars, and now they will not. They've always wanted to be the streamer, the first streamer to get the Best Picture award. Now they won't have that because Apple's the one that claimed that. And Apple's only been in the business, this side of the business, like for like 2 or 3 years at this point. Yeah. So, I mean, Netflix has been trying, and they can still do it, and I think they still will, but it's no longer the golden pinnacle of we're the first. Now it's going to be you're the second or the third, or if streamers continue to win it.
First of all the losers.
Exactly. As Ron Burgundy would say, if you ain't first, you're last. Yeah, so Netflix is last right now. Ricky Bobby. What'd I say, Ron Burgundy?
Yeah, let's say Will Ferrell. It's fine.
Yeah, Will Ferrell. Same one. Different characters. Same director, but different movies entirely.